From the iShin Broadcast Studio, it's the Tool Time Podcast.
Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the Tool Time Podcast. I'm Nadine and I'm the editor of Tech Shop.
And I'm Eric Garba, ASE Certified Master Automobile Technician.
Eric, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks, Nadine. Glad to be here.
We've got a very exciting conversation planned for today. We've got Chris Hirsch, the Director of Sales from Florida Pneumatic, to talk all about those lovely air tools you got in front of you.
Awesome. Love to talk about air tools.
Yeah, I know you do. We've got a lot to cover, so let's just dive right in. Ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Chris, thank you so much again for joining us today. We've got a lot to discuss, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. To start, can you give us a little bit of history about Florida Pneumatic and Aircat?
Sure. Florida Pneumatic Manufacturing has a 50-year history of global manufacturing and distribution of not only air tools, but pipe threading equipment and intake compressor filters. Our U.S.-based operation is in Lake Park, Florida, and our European division is located just outside of London, England. And their subsidiary name is the Universal Air Tool Company, UK. The Universal Tool products that we provide under Universal Tool are mostly industrial and MRO for maintenance and repair, as well as some aerospace. We also produce our Florida Pneumatic branded product and FPX Air, which is focused on MRO and general automotive. And then last is our Aircat pneumatic tool, which is designed for the heavy-duty professional automotive market, heavy-duty, and the PBE markets, or paint, body, and equipment. And, you know, our Aircat line, as we'll get into, represents the most significant advances in air tools. And over 30 years, we were founded in 1998. The Aircat part of the business was founded in 1998. And our tools were built on a bunch of patents, mostly the silencing that's included within our tools, which is very unique for the industry.
Very nice.
Wow, yeah, very cool. That's a great history. A lot of different markets
Absolutely.
covered. Absolutely, very cool. So, Chris, yeah, you mentioned the Aircat line, which is one, you know, as technicians, we're very familiar with the Aircat line. Tell us a little more about the Aircat line and how it's designed to retain power levels while reducing noise levels.
Yeah, the patented silencing in our tools was developed after basically a car muffler. The engineer that developed it was actually owned a bunch of Midas muffler shops, so he was very familiar with muffler systems and how they worked. So what it does is it allows us the air to discharge through the exhaust without developing any back pressure. Thus, the tool retains full power and full speed, while significantly reducing the noise level in the tool. Most of our tools are somewhere between 78 and 83 dBA, where the competitors' tools might be anywhere from 95 to 100. And when you're talking about decibels, the noise is it's an exponential factor. So that 12 or 15 dBA is really like half noise of our competitors. So it's extremely, extremely quiet. Most of our competitors, they will come up with a silencing system and they'll stick either gauze or some kind of debris into the exhaust port, which kind of breaks up the airflow when it comes out of the tool, thus reducing power and the noise, where ours is just reduces the noise. So it's a significant engineering feat, and it does very, very well, and it's made our product very, very popular.
Wow, that's awesome. Very cool.
Absolutely.
You know, I was going to say, when you first talked about noise and that, I was going to say, well, you know, you take an impact wrench and you say, Midasize it, right? But I guess that's kind of fitting, right, Chris?
You can. It is fitting, yes.
Now, you mentioned impact wrenches, Eric, and impact wrenches are one of the first things that come to mind when a lot of us think about air tools. So what are some of the advancements to impact technology that have happened over the years?
Well, air tools overall is kind of a mature market, so you don't usually see a lot of tool advancement. But you know, at Aircat, we're committed to product innovation, high quality levels, high service levels, and to the expansion of our Aircat, NitroCat, and now our new Vibrotherm drive line of impact wrenches, and that's where the most significant advance has come. The Vibrotherm drive line of impact wrenches debuted in 2018, and it features a new patented impact mechanism, and it's the first new impact mechanism that's been developed in the air tool market since the late 70s, and which was the twin hammer. And then in 1996, they came out with a pinless designed hammer mechanism. So what we did is the Vibrotherm mechanism combines the best of both elements of the twin hammer and the pinless design. And what it does is it keeps the hammers in perfect alignment, which allows more frequent blows, higher power for each blow, and a lot less vibration. So what we say with our Vibrotherm line is it's basically 50% better wear and 40% less vibration, which is huge. The Vibrotherm line includes a 3/8 and a 1/2-inch compact impact wrench, a full-size 1/2-inch impact wrench, a 3/4-inch impact, and a 1-inch impact drive in both the 1-inch anvil and an extended 6-inch anvil tool. But it's really unique, and it's caught on very well and been very well received within the market.
That's awesome.
And not to add that on our Aircat and NitroCat, we had the longest warranty in the industry at 2 years, but with the Vibrotherm drive, we offer a full 3-year warranty due to the increased wear characteristics of the new Vibrotherm drive.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great to know. And I mean, it's got to be a lot easier on your hands and your wrists, when you're grabbing this impact all day long, and a much smoother operation, and the warranty. It's fantastic.
For sure.
Also, very cool.
Yeah, and a couple other things also with the Vibrotherm, being that it's a 2-piece housing, which also reduces vibration, but also reduces the size of the tool. So the tool is also generally lighter, and it's about an inch shorter than a regular tool. So our 3/4-inch impact is only the length of a regular 1/2-inch impact in the market.
Really?
So it's very compact and very powerful.
How cool.
Excellent.
Very cool. Very cool. So Chris, what are some of the other popular air tools in the Aircat line, and some of their features?
We have several unique tools. We came out with our 6700 series of air sanders, and this was built for the true professional user. It features a patented motor design that reduces vibration in the tool to just 1.8 meters per second. Also, the motor has dual seal bearings in it, so it's the first sander line that is completely lubrication free. Most air tools, you have to oil the tools through the air inlet to keep them running properly. These tools, you do not have to oil them at all, which is great because that oil is dispersed through the exhaust. And as you know, when you're trying to finish a product for painting, the last thing you want is oil to be sprayed out the exhaust onto your work surface. So it eliminates that as well. A couple other tools. We have a long reach ratchet series, which nobody else has. There's 5 models in this series, ranging from 15 inches in length to 22 inches in length. Also from drive sizes, a 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. And what these allow you to do is to get into tight spaces. So if you're working on a radiator or something, and you can't get down to it, you can stick the ratchet down there, get to the fastener, and quickly remove it. Torque ranges vary from the 1/4 inch at 30 foot-pounds up to a full 1/2 inch extended at 130 foot-pounds of torque. So they're very powerful as well.
Oh, yeah.
We also have an expansive line of die grinders and cutoff tools. Most tools in the market you'll find will be like a 0.4 or 0.5 horsepower standard die grinder. We offer a series of 0.5 horsepower die grinders, a 0.75 horsepower, and also a 1 horsepower die grinders. So these tools are capable of withstanding a lot of torque, not stalling out as easily. And in the angle die grinders, you're allowed to use like a 2 and a 3 inch roll-lock sanding disc very efficiently without having to worry about the tool bogged down. So for finish work, they're very economical and efficient. A couple other tools. You have a a 30-degree cutoff tool there in front of you, the 6530, I believe.
Yep.
So that's unique in the fact that if you slide the ring back, you can rotate the head both 30 degrees forward and then 30 degrees back. So if you're working on a tight spot, you can't get the ratchet or the cutoff head in there, you can rotate it back and forth and get to access the area very easily.
Yeah, that's a super useful feature. That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
That's great. Yeah, you want
Absolutely.
to check it out? Yeah,
Definitely.
That's a great feature for a cutoff wheel.
Yeah.
Very
We also introduced that same feature in a 1/4-inch ratchet that you have sitting in front of you as well, which has the 30-degree head design too. Because a lot of times on smaller fasteners, you're under a dash, you're in a motor compartment, it's smaller fasteners, but they're very tough to get to. So by pushing the two buttons on the side together, you can rotate the head 30 degrees forward. You can have it straight in a conventional angle, or you can rotate it 30 degrees back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very
I can
cool.
see that being really handy getting in some tight areas. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so those are just a few of the tools that we offer. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's really unique. I think that's about it. I mean, most other stuff's mostly based on our size and weight and silencing technologies.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Lots of fantastic air tools, Chris, definitely. But a subject that's often overlooked is the maintenance for these air tools. These products are used and abused almost daily. How important is maintenance and what does it entail?
Yeah, maintenance on air tools is very simple. Unfortunately, it's neglected because sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but simply by water is your biggest component, first of all. When you're using a compressor, compressors take ambient air and they compress the air into the compressor tank at a very high pressure, anywhere from 150 to 220 psi. During this stage of compression, the air gets very warm, and then it's pushed into the tank. Well, as you can imagine, it sits in the tank and it cools down, and therefore water and condensation is formed. Or if you're running the compressor constantly and the tank doesn't really have time to fill, that hot air runs through your air hose, which is 25, 50 feet or longer, and the water forms throughout the hose and goes into your tool. Well, as you can imagine, water in the tool is going to cause rust and corrosion. So you have to combat that. And the way you do that is by simply oiling the tool with air tool oil or any kind of oil that has any kind of rust inhibitors in it. You squirt it into the inlet where you hook the hose up, and the air just simply blows it through the motor and keeps everything lubricated. You need to do this throughout the day if you're using it frequently. And what people don't realize is the most important time to oil the tool is before you put it away at night. Because you imagine if you're running water through your tool and you go set it down, sometimes you may not pick up that tool for a week. So that water sits in there, and that's when most of your corrosion and damage is done. So by oiling it right before you put it away and just simply blowing it through the tool, it takes care of, it lubricates all the part and avoids the tool from corroding. A couple of the tools, like the impact wrench you have in front of you, and some of the die grinders will have like a little zert fitting in the front of the nose piece. And that is where you would insert either oil or grease, depending on the lubrication required for that tool. This is something that's not done as frequently. If you're using the tool every day for long periods, maybe every 6 months or so, you might have to add a little bit of grease to the hammer mechanism because it is contained. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's less of a maintenance issue, but it is something that needs to be looked at if you're using the tool for long periods of time. But other than that, basically, that's all you need. And we find that over 80 or 85% of our repairs are due to people just simply not taking a second to oil the tool to keep it lubricated. Also, if you're in a professional environment, a lot of the shops that have large compressor systems will have inline lubricators and filters, which will do this for you. And in that case, you don't have to take the time to individually oil each tool.
Presented from the Ishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
That's awesome. Great advice. Thanks, Chris. And great to hear that it reinforced about oiling an air tool before you put it away.
Absolutely.
I admit, I made the same mistake for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You just think, well, you get an air tool out, you oil it and you use it and that's it. And it was after a number of years, a tool dealer told me,
Right.
no, you need to be oiling that tool before you put it away at the end of the day. So that's great advice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And further on that, one of the main things, the best things about air tools is they're just very simple tools. So they're very durable as well. You're not going to have any other maintenance issues with them. I mean, people throw them around, bang them around, and they will withstand the test of time, which is really, really unique. So just that oiling thing's the biggest.
Yeah, they are. They're workhorses. They're durable, and
Absolutely.
we've all been guilty of sliding them across the shop on the floor. Somebody needs to borrow it. You just, hose connected and everything.
Or throwing them across the shop, which I've seen many a times.
Either or.
We prefer you to slide them across. That's okay.
Absolutely. So, Chris, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about this age-old debate that goes on of cordless versus pneumatic.
Yes, the old cordless versus pneumatic. Well, it's no secret that the power tool market has an influx of cordless tools over the last several years. They've been around for years. Cordless has been around in the industrial and automotive line for many years, but just in the past, say 3-4 years maybe, they've really gained a lot of popularity. And that has to do a lot with some of the major global manufacturers like TTI or Milwaukee, Black & Decker, Bosch, Makita. They're putting a lot of money and effort behind it, and the battery advancement has come a long way. The lithium-ion batteries have become more powerful. They become smaller, more compact, allowing them to overcome some of the deficiencies that cordless tools have had over the years. Size, weight, runtime, all that stuff. With an air tool, you hook it up and you can run it all day long. There's no issues. Battery tools, got battery life. They're not as durable. They create sparks because they're electric, where an air tool doesn't because it runs on air. But over the years, they've really improved that battery life. So now, where they were just drills and impact drivers for years, I mean, that was the big, everybody owned a cordless drill, right? You had it at home, whatever. Now they're getting into the 3/8 and 1/2 inch impact market. They've hit that really, really hard, and they're becoming very dominant in that market. They're also starting to look at some heavy duty tools like 3/4 and 1 inch. However, they're still a learning curve there, and they're still a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as size and weight. So, and power. So the tools in air are still much more accepted for air tools in the 3/4 and heavy duty inch than they are in the cordless. They're trying to get into some of the grinders and cutoff tools, and even some of the PBE like sanders. But due to the weight and the size of the product, air is still the preferred method. However, they are starting to make some inroads, like I said, with the battery technology, and as the batteries start to get smaller and smaller. My thing is that every shop that you go to is going to have a compressor. They're going to have air, right? So for me as a shop owner, and I know a lot of them, for the heavy duty everyday stuff, they still prefer the air, but it's great to have a cordless tool on hand at all times, because guy pulls up in your driveway or you can't get him into the bay itself to do the work on it. You grab your cordless tool, you can take it to him. There's no hose, there's no setup, it's quick and easy. So there is an advantage to them, but there are also several disadvantages. So that for that reason, I feel that air will always be there and will always be an accepted, more accepted method for the heavy duty mechanics.
Yeah, great points. Great points. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And, cordless technology, it's amazing how far it has advanced in primarily battery technology.
Definitely.
But, I know, and I've got tons of cordless tools, but I have tons of air tools also, and as a technician, the one thing you love about them is they always work. You connect that air line, they're working. You don't have to worry about anything, no matter how long it sits.
Right.
It's ready to go.
Right. Absolutely. No,
Yeah,
definitely
no,
great insights.
that's what we preach too. Is, I mean, you always know what you're going to get when you pick it up. Also on the battery, some other things that come to mind is, I mean, the cost of it. I mean, the batteries themselves are over $100 a piece. So if you're running it every day in a shop and you're having to cycle and recharge batteries, every mechanic has probably 3 or 4 batteries that they keep cycling in to keep them operating. But over time, those wear out and you have to replace them, where that's an added cost. to the tool. Also, the big fight we have with the cordless on the positive side is, they put out a battery platform, like an 18-volt battery platform, and they continue to develop tools one after another. So, as you guys know, once you buy a battery platform, whether it's a Milwaukee or a DeWalt or a Makita, you have that battery platform. So any tool that you're going to buy, it's going to be on that battery platform. You're not going to switch back and forth between Milwaukee and DeWalt if you own a Stanley Black & Decker tool, right? You're going to keep buying their tools. Right. So they kind of lock you into their program, and they guarantees them continual sales every time they bring out a new product, which is really smart.
Right. Yeah. Very good point, though. Yeah, you get one platform and you're stuck with that, and getting that same type of thing.
Right.
And plus, you're not gonna slide a cordless tool across the shop. You're worried about breaking the battery or something,
Right.
It's just not right if you can't slide your tool across the shop. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's some of the stuff that we're starting to see now. It's like I said, it's been about 3 years and they've just exploded. They're really gaining market traction. But I think now, and I can't speak because I'm 100% on the topic because I'm not with the manufacturers that build these, but I've heard that, maintenance and warranty issues have started to become more prevalent over time because it is an abusive atmosphere in the shop, and the air tools, as we all know, have stood the test of time, where now some of these cordless tools are being put through the ringer, and do they or don't they hold up, and what's the manufacturer willing to stand behind when they start to fall apart. So that's kind of the time we're entering now. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of years.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Now, speaking of warranties, what type of warranties do most of the Aircat tools have, and what type of customer service and support do you guys offer after the sales?
Yeah, we offer a full customer support here at our Florida Pneumatic headquarters, and I'm happy to say that we have a receptionist here that has been here for almost 35 years. And as you know, when you call a company now, what's the first thing you get? An automated machine. Well,
right.
We're one of the few companies that when you call, you're going to get a live operator every time, and she's going to transfer you to one of our customer service representatives or myself, whoever can help you at that time. So we provide excellent customer service. That's what we're built. One of the things we're built around. We also offer the longest warranties in the industry. I think I mentioned before, Aircat and NitroCat tools have a full 2-year warranty, and our Vibrotherm now has a full 3-year warranty for the tools. The warranties process is very, very simple. We have over about 80 authorized warranty centers throughout the country. Those can be found on our Aircat website. And if you have an issue with your tool, you simply look up the closest repair center to you. You are responsible to send the tool to the repair center. That's on your dime, but include your name, address, all your pertinent information, a receipt that shows that the tool was actually purchased. So you can, because not only the warranty is not from the serial number on the tool itself, because you may have bought the tool 6 months later, right? Mm-hmm. So the actual 2-year warranty starts when you purchase the product. So we want to see when you bought it and make sure that you're still in the warranty process.
Okay.
If the tool is deemed a warranty, which we're very good and very lenient as far as our warranty process, because we like to keep our customers happy, we will fix the tool. We will put it back in the box, and we will send it directly back to the customer. And all billing and repair information will be transferred between the service center and our corporate headquarters. The customer is not involved in any way, shape, or form. All they get is a repaired tool. So it's pretty foolproof. People seem to be very happy with it. And the good thing is about the Aircat product line, our warranties are actually less than 1% of sales. So we have a very low warranty repair weight because of our quality of our tools. So we don't really ever run into issues as far as warranty. We supply 100% parts for all of our tools. If you need an O-ring to a housing, we have the parts, and customers are able to order parts through the warranty centers as well if they want to fix it themselves, or if they just want to have spares on the shelf for backup. So not a lot of companies can say that they offer 100% parts for all their tools, but we do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, great to know. It sounds like a great warranty program.
Absolutely.
Great that you can get parts. Certainly the volume speaks to the quality of the tools.
Absolutely.
And the best part, it's great to know you can call and talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Very
A
cool.
human being in today's world, that definitely makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Chris,
Trust me,
thank you so much. This has been fantastic. A lot of great information.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
I hope it was beneficial. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
Wow, Eric, that was a lot of information. What'd you think?
That was fantastic.
Definitely. What really stood out the most to you, though, in our conversation?
Really, for me, is the design and the technology that goes into these tools and how passionate they are with the Aircat brand of making these really useful for the technician.
Absolutely. And for me, I love the amount of support that they're still providing technicians after the sale is made.
Absolutely. You can call up and talk to a real person, and
Everybody
it's
loves
fantastic.
that.
Absolutely.
Eric, thanks again for joining me today. And thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned for the latest episodes, and we'll see you again soon.